Hi, my name is Pammy Joe. I encourage souls to find your mission and use your skills and talents on earth to serve God and to help others. Recently, I discovered an infestation, a cancer within my soul that I didn't know was there. It was so well hidden because it disguised itself under layer after layer after layer. And the first technique it used was sweetness. And the second technique it used was a bad type of strength, a type of strength which did not take no for an answer. It's not true strength, it's manipulative strength. And I was asked by God to explain this to others because it's a common infestation in the human race, and it started before humanity. Humanity has angelic nature, but was not eternal in the same way the angels were. Um, we were limited to Earth's realm, therefore somewhat contained until we learned about our nature. But when the first major temptation came along, this nature surfaced, this nature that we need to understand, that I need to understand. I will talk about myself, and you can put yourself in the blank if it fits you. I don't want to be telling other people how they are. I had a nature inside of me. And what do I mean by that? Well, on one side of my family, everybody was sort of giving and apparently appeared at least to get along together and laughed and helped one another. The other side of my family was quite strong-willed and quite expressive of that. They thought arguing was acceptable. It was a normal form of communication. They were very assertive. There was nothing wrong with them. But the coping mechanisms I learned from being raised around these two opposing personality types or way of coping confused me. So I adapted pieces of each type. On the one hand, easygoing and sweet and appeasing and taking it off people, even when I shouldn't and didn't need to. The other was a very aggressive type of manipulation where if I didn't get my way, I pouted or I got angry. Now, I learned some of this from my own parents, but it's in the race, it's in the nature. So I didn't realize until about a week ago that the one on one side of my family was quite strong, and it wasn't until someone told me no, and I couldn't follow through. I could not accept the word no, that I realized I had a problem. When the person said no to me, to something that was really important to me that I had been able to do for months on end, suddenly stopping, I went into a cycle. Then I went into denial, which is a form of grief also. Then I became angry, and this part of me doesn't even want anyone to know when the anger started, but the anger started as soon as I heard the no word. Then I went into depression and apathy, and I began to tell Creator, I don't belong here. I can't cope with this life. I can't do this. So, who am I to tell anyone else what to do on YouTube? Hey, well, I stuck it out. I had gotten some training that helped me to find reasoning within this. Reasoning. That's kind of the trick. There's all these emotions swirling around. There's self-pity, there's depression, there's sadness, there's loss of everything. There's this one thing has ruined everything that's ever happened in life. That is instilled in our brain by this thing. But I had received training 5 seconds before this event. 5 seconds is when it concluded. That says when this happens, become an observer, step outside what's happening, and realize that this reaction is not you. So I had to say, this is not me, but I still felt like crap. Okay. Over the course of the next several days, I kept saying that, and I was finally able to talk to Creator again, because these things cut me off from God. So I talked to Creator, and he said, I have something to help you. I want you to say, I am healed. Now, the training I'd gotten 5 seconds before this event said, grab something, a physical thing, a picture of your children or your pet, something that you care about, and pick it up and transfer your mental focus onto that, or a task. Not escape it, but take our mind from that cycle of never ending. You want to know what it was saying? You're a loser. You screwed it up. You've had months and months, and now you have to give up everything you've put into this. You've made your friend angry, blah, 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 blah. You'll never win. You have no hope. You're over. You're done on earth. Well, as soon as God said, I am healed, and I was able to type that and say it weakly and meekly and with self-pity, a picture began to form in my mind in place of all that self-pity and all that sadness. A picture of a cavern that's all crusted over. Have you ever seen caves, dark caves, where there's thick layers of stuff crusted all around on the walls? That was my soul. Inside this was a little hole where I lived. The rest of it was this crusted, cancerous infestation from millennia and millennia and my own lifetime of the rebellion eating me up from the inside out and crusting over. And it was very well disguised, because I didn't know that my soul was bigger than that little opening that I was living in. I didn't know. But he showed me as soon as I obeyed him and accepted his help. He showed me that crust. And here's an analogy. My husband restores motorcycles, so he has to get the corrosion out of some of them, because gas gets left in there and they rust and they get ruined almost. They have to be scarified. So you put a certain acid in there that softens it up, and then you blast it, and then you do that again, and other techniques, and pretty quick you are sandblasting it to get it smooth. This is what God was doing, and it took a week, at least a week. And it hurt, and I felt so tired I could barely talk to people. Mike got home from work one day, and I couldn't speak to him. I didn't snub him, I just could not talk. It was a difficult thing to overcome and be willing to go through this cleansing of the soul that is this deep. So what's the culprit? What's the definition of it? We need that. Start there. This is a process. The definition is controlling others in order to get a short-term thrill so that we don't have to deal with what's inside of us, or what we're afraid is inside of us. What we're afraid of in us. It is in the Bible somewhere that by stumbling lips, God would teach in the end times. I guess I'm one of them. Oration has never been my strong suit. I'm only here because I know my journey's been unreal, and I want others to I'm hoping you get something out of it to help with your journey. So the key to this, and then I'll conclude, is controlling others, be it through being nice to them or helping them when they aren't ready for it and we don't have permission and cooperation from them to do it. It's a trick to get our minds off ourselves so that we can help trip them up and ourselves up, because we'll then go into the self-pity cycle. They don't love me. They don't want to be around me. I'm a jerk. But maybe if I help this person, I'll feel good about myself. Or this person. No. We are allowed to help people with our gifts, but the only person we can control The only person I can control is right here. I got to tell you, I am so grateful for that no that my friend gave me. If that friend had not given me a no, I don't know if I'd ever realized what was inside. I'll talk more about this in the next week, but this has gone on long enough. So thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. See you next time.